Thanks for joining us on Thaiger Bites, last day of the week, and a name you'll be hearing more of in the future, Jay, is Coffee Culture.
Coffee Culture.
Who's going to be a sponsor of this program. So expect to see Coffee Culture coffee cups and hear about some of their great coffee, because we love coffee on Thaiger Bites.
Especially from Coffee Culture.
I think we've got to make it ourselves, though. They just provide the
coffee beans.
Yeah.
But really good ones.
We're going to, we're going to need to...
support the farmers, the coffee farmers of Thailand.
What, are you just making that up, or...?
No, I believe that is true. I watched the video.
All right. Yeah. Find out more anyway in coming weeks. We'll have to buy a coffee machine. From Dario Marchesi, thank you for writing in, Dario. He said, Tim, bloke is literally a British word that's been carried over to Australia. Somebody referred to using the word bloke, and I went, oh, it must be a fellow Aussie, but apparently it's a word that's come from Britain. I was unaware of that. Australia, of course, and we continually get reminded about it by our British friends, was a British colony in its early days. Okay, over to you.
Right, I have a comment here from Max Miguel 500, who says, I did Hua Hin to Bangkok in a modern Toyota minibus a few years back. Never again. The driver passed absolutely everything on the road, and I'd guess he was doing no less than 150 kilometers per hour most of the way. Terrifying. Now, Max, there's a lot of truth in this. So I have noticed those minivans.
Keep going.
What they try to do is, I'm guessing they're trying to make as many trips as possible to make the max amount of money.
Of course.
So they try to fill the bus up with as many people as they can. Every seat is occupied, and they try to go, whether it's from Bangkok Suvarnabhumi Airport to Pattaya, or whether it is even in the city. If they can, they will drive at a crazy speed limit.
You notice that they're all turbocharged?
Yes.
When they put their foot down, you hear the turbo kick in?
Yep.
Turbocharged silver passenger vans.
Yep.
I wouldn't get in one if you paid me.
Well, and they're really cheap.
I wouldn't go from here to 7-Eleven, which is 20 metres. I wouldn't even do that. Let alone going across the border to do a visa run. Heard some horror stories.
It's an experience, Tim. It's an experience.
It certainly is. Chris Lee says, question, hi Tim and Jay, we see the total number of new infections every day, but I never see or hear how many people have actually been tested. So, we have in the past reported the number of new infections,
yes,
number of deaths, a number of people recovered. We have slowly modified the way we've reported this over time to try and keep the numbers as in context as we can, and also have a continuation of what we've reported in the past so that you can sort of draw some comparison. If you want to know about the testing, that information is available. We don't report it because we don't want to flood you with statistics every day. At the moment, we're reporting the deaths as the main criteria as to the seriousness of the pandemic in Thailand. We're reporting the number of infections secondly. Mm-hmm. And we're also reporting the number of people who have recovered. But like today in Good Morning Thailand, we've moved our COVID report down deeper into the program rather than at the start. So the way we report them hopefully reflects where we as a news organisation see the importance of the COVID figures. But if you do want to get those figures, you can go to worldometers.info. That's where we get all our deep COVID information. And also there are like the NBT, the Thailand NBT publish figures each day as well.
Yes.
Okay, there you are. I've ranted that one as best I could.
Right. Moving on, I have a comment here from Robba Tayaki, who says, hangry must be an angry, hungry man. That is actually exactly correct, Robba.
I think we're going to see that word in the Oxford or the Webster's Dictionary very soon,
I think it might already be. I think it's a common term now. So, yeah, a hangry person could be a woman or a man, is just a person who feels angry when they're hungry, like most people.
I'm typing it into Google.
Some people more than others.
Bad-tempered or irritable as a result of hunger. So it looks like it is a word, and that is according to the Oxford Dictionary.
That is right.
Okay, my next one is from Gary S., who says, I've been to Japan multiple times prior to COVID, almost on a yearly basis. I've eaten Wagyu and Kobe beef.
Ooh, Kobe.
I haven't... Kobe? I haven't been to any steakhouses that start at 50,000 baht a person. Now, we started this whole conversation earlier in the week when somebody said, I paid 3,000 baht for a steak, and we scoffed and said, no way you could pay 3,000 baht for a steak in Thailand. But here's then somebody said, I paid 50,000 baht for a steak. I wouldn't even pay 1,000 baht for a steak. I know where I can get good steak for 1,000 baht too.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Well, where do you eat? Do you eat steak?
Yeah, I think everybody eats steak. But I mean, I think
given your heritage, a lot of people don't eat beef.
But that is true. Yes.
But you do.
Yes.
Sinner.
Well, yeah. Anyways, we don't want to get into that.
All right. So off we go. Next one.
I have a question here from David, who says, in Vietnam, one guy delivered me my queen-size mattress on the back of a Honda Wave. Okay. Now, I think that would have probably happened in Thailand as well. I haven't seen it yet, but good picture.
Honda Waves, just to clarify, are an older style Honda motorbike that have been around since the 1990s, and there are still plenty of them around.
Is it those electric smaller bikes? Or?
No. Honda Waves, you put petrol in it.
Oh, okay. It's like one of those electric starting motorbikes that just like. What I mean is that there's no gears; it's just automatic.
I don't know. I think the Honda Wave, you've got gears.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't know much about bikes, clearly.
No, but I do, because I ride a motorbike.
Okay.
I enjoy my little scooter. But yeah, there would be Honda Waves riding around now that have never had any love or attention, never had the oil change, and just keep on chugging away. And yeah, in Southeast Asia, those motorbikes, the 110cc motorbikes, are used to carry all sorts of things. Yesterday we had the photo of the motorbike on the motorbike. And then this person telling us they've seen a mattress transported. There'd be a bit of windage. You wouldn't want a strong puff of wind to blow you straight off the road.
Tie it to you? Or it could be the same, like a person's behind, a person's in front, and they just sandwich the mattress in between.
If you were smart, you would wrap the mattress around the front of the motorbike. Because,
and how do you're
likely to have an accident.
How you make two holes through the mattress.
You have a periscope looking over the top.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Nisa McCollum says, I love to watch your show every morning at 5:30 from US before I go to work. Keep up the good work. I'm from Thailand and has been living in the US for 36 years.
Wow, Nisa, thank you for joining us.
And I hope you're enjoying your time in America. Where do you live? And is there good Thai food where you live? That'd be interesting to know. Okay.
Right, my next comment here is from ArchNinjaa. Actually, sorry, William Cox first, who says, I have a question that you two could answer. You showed some black and white lines painted across the road. The question is, what are they for? Because here in the UK, we have the same thing, and they're called zebra crossings or zebra crossings. And cars have to stop to let you cross the road. On my first trip to Thailand, I stupidly thought they were the same thing and nearly got killed. Well, William, I can confirm that they are exactly the same thing.
In the US, they're called crosswalks.
Right. So in Thailand, I guess they're just nothing, just lines. Because you're right, they are supposed to be zebra crossings. The cars are supposed to stop and let pedestrians walk across them. But in Thailand, nobody cares. I don't think people are even aware of what they stand for. I mean, have you experienced this, Tim?
Sure. I've tried to cross at a crosswalk and found it, challenging. People very rarely stop. Usually, where I come from, they're accompanied by some lights either side, which were quite obvious, saying, stop here when pedestrians are crossing. But that memo hasn't got through to the Thai population.
Yes, unfortunately.
So if you do come to Thailand and you see a crosswalk or a zebra crossing, just still look left and right and be very careful when you're crossing. Yeah. Luke Rabin writes to us and says, public health isn't being capricious, it's looking after the health of the public. A restaurant owner can be considerate of his staff and his patrons by insisting on health standards from all who dine at the venue. And this is in relation to comments made by a number of people over the rumour last week that they would be requiring vaccine passports before people could enter restaurants. they didn't actually enact that as part of the laws when they started allowing people to go back to restaurants. But Luke is saying it's not public health isn't, it's not about being capricious. It's about restaurant owners being given the option to care for their staff. That's his point of view, and we thank him for it.
Right. Another comment here from ArchNinjaa, who says, Anutin is an honourable man. He's referring to the health minister of Thailand, Mr. Anutin, and he says, for a snake, where's my stick?
Yes. Anutin hasn't made himself very popular with the foreign population with some of his comments in the past relating to foreigners. Obviously, things that he think will sort of go well in the Thai media, but has come back to bite him, and a lot of foreigners refer to him often. And his comments about foreigners, particularly last year when they were handing out at the BTS stations masks, and some foreigners were saying, "Oh no, I don't want one, thanks." And he made comments about foreigners being dirty and not washing, and didn't go down very well.
Yes.
Ringo Zwaan says, not coming to Phuket this year, not worth the €325 per person extra cost for tests and insurance. Obviously part of the Phuket Sandbox and all the other sandboxes, and coming back to Thailand generally at the moment, involves prepayment of these PCR tests and insurance, and a lot of people are saying, well, we'd rather go somewhere where we don't have all these additional costs. So thank you, Ringo.
Right. My last comment here today is from Sontaya Toemsook, who says, Venice of the East was about as accurate as Land of Smiles. Now, we did a short story and a brief look into why Bangkok was called the Venice of the East, because of the canal transportation. And yeah, I believe, now the canals are, they're quite dirty, and referring it to...
I think they were always dirty.
Yeah, but referring them to Venice, I would agree, is a bit of a stretch, but...
I don't think the Venetian canals are much cleaner, to be honest.
True, but I don't think it's accurate to say Thailand is not the land of smiles. I think Thailand is still a land of smiles. Most people here are always generally in a good, mood. They're
Except
always
when
smiling.
they're not.
Except when they're not.
Hawk says, 3 places I recommend not to retire in Thailand. This was a topic yesterday. 1, Phuket. 2, Pattaya. 3, Bangkok. There are plenty of good places to retire in Thailand, but these are definitely none of them. To which Bronson replied saying, well, Hawk, those 3 places you state not to retire in all have some amazing areas. You only have to take a day trip around Phuket to find some incredibly beautiful spots away from the sleazy girly bars, etc. There's not many places in Phuket with sleazy girly bars. Probably like one street.
No, one area, yeah. Pretty much.
You can't write off an entire city island just because of some dodgy spots. Where would you, if you were going to retire in Thailand,
Yes.
Where would you go? Where would you live?
Firstly, good on you, Bronson, for that response. I would prefer to live in Chiang Mai, personally. I feel like they have good weather, nice mountainous areas, nice views, great coffee. The people there are a lot more, relaxed. I like
Not a lot
that
of beaches,
atmosphere.
though.
Not a lot of beaches, true. But since I'm from Phuket, I've lived here most of my life, I would want to go away to those type of areas for holidays rather than, the beach.
Okay, I decided Phuket, and this is where I will retire one day. Hopefully, a little way down the track. Les Brown, our final comment, said, all you ever talk about is Bangkok and Phuket. It's becoming very boring. I'm sure you won't read this out. I think he's onto something here. I think he knows that if he says you won't read this out, that we probably will.
Yep.
So now what we're going to get is all these people saying, blah, 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 blah. You won't read this out.
I'm sure you won't even look at it. You won't even notice it. We read every one of your comments, by the way. Every comment on...
We have to.
On all our shows, on our forums, on Facebook. We do read every comment that you write. So
legally, we have to be very careful what you write and put on the websites and the pages that have got our name connected to it. But to Les's comment, which we should... just after we were talking about Phuket... the reason that we've been talking about Phuket a lot is because the Sandbox has been such a big story. It's not as important a story now, and obviously we're talking about other things. like ABBA, which we spoke about in Good Morning Thailand today. As far as Bangkok's concerned, well, Bangkok is the capital of Thailand.
Yes.
And when it comes to talking about Thailand and news generally, it's Bangkok, then everywhere else. It is really the hub and the whole soul of Thailand. So, of course, we're going to be talking about Bangkok a lot. We look forward in the future to be talking about a lot of other places. We do the weather in other parts of the country. In our news today, we've had stories about other parts of the country. So I believe we do cover the country as well as we can, but at the end of the day, we follow where the news is happening. Not so much, we'll do one story from here, one story from here, one story from here. We just go where the main stories are. I hope that explains it, Les. Right, you're done?
I'm done.
We're done. That's it for the week. Please comment on our various platforms over the weekend. What can they do? Where can they go?
Right, they can comment on Facebook. They can go on Thaiger Talk, which is on thethaiger.com. And they can also comment on all of our shows. Good Morning Thailand, Thailand News Today, Thaiger Bites.
On YouTube. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week.